Today, I'm going to share a tip with you that's going to double your productivity. Alright, so today we're going to talk about a rule. This rule is called the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. And it goes like this. So the 80-20 rule says that 80% of our results come from only 20% of our efforts, and 20% of our results come from 80% of our efforts. So what does that mean? That means 80% of the things that we do only are producing 20% of our results, whereas 20% of the things we do account for 80% of our results. So what we want to do is we want to focus on doing more of the 20% effort that is creating the 80% results and less of the 80% effort that is only creating 20% of our results. So the common struggle everyone's having is time management. I don't have enough time to get everything done. The 80-20 rule is your ultimate time management tool. So we all know that we can't get more time. However, what we can do is we can work more efficiently. So here's the life hack I want to give you today. Before you start any task, before you start any day, what you need to ask is one question. What 20% do I need to focus on today in order to produce 80% of my results? Because here's the thing, my friend. We can both spend the same hour working, but what specifically we're doing inside that hour is going to dramatically determine what outcome we get. One person, let's say two people are working on building a website. One person can just sit there and be like, okay, choosing the pictures, choosing the headlines, scrolling around for cool plugins, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of scattered, unfocused. Boom, the hour is done. At the end of the hour, he kind of got some pictures. He downloaded this cool plugin. Maybe he wrote a headline. Okay. Now we move over to the second person, also the same hour, but that second person, he asked himself before he started, he said, what is the 20% that is going to account for 80% of my results while building this website in this 1 hour that I have? What's the most important thing? What's the highest leverage thing that I need to focus on? And so this guy, looking at his project, determined, you know what? The highest leverage right now is to get the navigation menu made and all the pages for the navigation menus made, and then we'll add the headlines and we'll add the pictures and we'll add the cool plugins later. And within that hour, he was able to build a basic website with a home page, an About Me page, an articles page, a video page, and a Contact Us page. And by the end of the hour, he has the framework of a website. So you see, two people, same time, dramatically different result. So moving forward, what you need to concern yourself with isn't so much how much time you have to work on the thing you want to work on, but rather, what is the 20% that you need to focus on within that block of time to make sure that you produce the maximum output, the 80% output. If you apply this simple 20% principle to everything you do, you are going to dramatically increase your productivity. You're going to accomplish things you never thought were possible because you thought you didn't have the time, but you do. So moving forward, always ask this question before starting anything, whatever it is. What is the 20% that I need to focus on that is going to produce the 80% of my results? And to take it a step further, to go meta, what I ask is, okay, first, let's say, coming back to the website thing, because right now I'm building a website for my new program, the Man Transformation Experience. And so I'm thinking, okay, I have this block of time. What's the 20% I need to focus on? Boom, okay, right now I need to gather the images to correspond with all the headlines. Okay, boom. But then, before I start, I ask one more time, what's the 20% inside the 20% that's gonna get me 80% of the results? And what that means is you can keep going meta to the 80-20 rule, because the 80-20 rule is operating on every level. So for example, let's say I'm browsing for images. Maybe that's the most important thing that's going to get me 80% of my results at the moment. However, there is still room for me to waste time. because now maybe I could be going in to let's say iStock images where you get images, and I can start browsing, but then I can start wasting time on there. So I am being productive because I'm doing the highest leverage thing for my website at the stage it's at. However, within that task, there's still room for me to kind of get lazy or become too much of a perfectionist. So what I found myself doing is I was catching myself, and this is what you need awareness. You need to catch yourself. I was catching myself kind of becoming too much of a perfectionist, or let's say I needed a specific image with a guy and a girl, but then I saw these other cool artistic images and I would go kind of that way. Then I'm like, whoa, wait a second, right? So you got to bring yourself back. So what's the 20% inside the 20%? And when you keep asking that question in every task you're doing, and while you're doing every task, your productivity will shoot through the roof, and you will double your productivity or even more than double it. Take care.